we've moved out to Whitewater Canyon here, kind of on the southern edge of Dubuque County. This is a pretty different park, isn't it, compared to Swiss Valley? Tell me a little bit about Whitewater Canyon.
Yeah, so Whitewater Canyon is honestly, it's one of the staff favorites. It's kind of a hidden gem. What sets it apart from anything else that we manage is because it's got one of 3 true canyons in the whole state of Iowa. So what canyon means is
what's a true canyon? Like,
right, yeah.
The one true canyon, or yeah.
It's basically super steep topography. So when you refer to it on like topographic maps, a canyon per se is a forested segment that's bordered by bedrock cliffs. So it's kind of channeled in through a small creek. So it's got these steep borders on each side, like where we're standing right now.
This is a very steep border.
This is the edge of the canyon. So it's a 150-foot drop all the way down to the Whitewater Creek here. So you can hear the water in the distance. It's a super beautiful sight. This is one of the key spots to go during the fall to look at the leaves. It's just a beautiful area.
Sure.
And where we're standing here, there's several other giant limestone bluffs of the canyon that are on the opposite edges.
Right.
This area geologically is super significant because there used to be this dome, like this crust of rock that used to connect to all these pillars, and the creek would go right through it. And then after lots and lots of geological events, the ceiling collapsed. So now you're left with these big concave walls of this huge canyon. So it is super significant because of that feature alone, and just because you can see a timestamp by looking at all the geological events that could have occurred by studying these rocks here.
Sure.
So it sets it apart from Swiss Valley or Heritage Trail and other areas just because of the canyon itself. So yeah.
Yeah, you would say that this is a pretty significant geological feature, for sure. So tell me a little bit about the trail system here.
Yeah, so we have miles of trails. I think it's somewhere around 6 or 7 miles, not quite as much as Swiss Valley, and they don't loop quite as much. Some of them just go out to a really significant feature like this one and then back towards the parking lot. But on our website, we have lots of different maps that you can refer to there. So this is probably the most highly used trail to the scenic overlook. But the other trail systems that I would highly recommend somebody would come check out would be going to the Lost Canyon or the Valley of 13 Caves. So that was a more recent addition to the Whitewater Wildlife Area here, and that has over 13 caves that you can crawl back into. Some of them are even 70 feet in length.
Whoa.
They're not like when you think of Maquoketa Cave State Park, but they're still really cool caves because they're live caves. So you can see bats in them, you can see stalactites and stalagmites coming from the ceiling.
Really?
Yeah, they're just really unique areas. So you can hike along those caves and see that whole picturesque valley. And it was formed similar to this geological event in that there was a top and then the river ran through it and the cave the ceiling collapsed. So all of the walls are kind of concave like this when you go there too. It's got tons of restored prairies on top, and it also has the Whitewater Creek that you can hike down to. This area, being different than Swiss Valley, it's not a preserve, so it's a wildlife management area, and what that means is you can come here, you can hunt here, you can fish here, you can go foraging here for like morel mushrooms if you want to.
Okay.
So those are some of the things that you can't do at Swiss Valley, but you can do here just because it's has different set of rules. So there's caters to a different user group, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Well, hiking in, going through that prairie, really, really lovely. Tell me a little bit about, the prairie and the prairie management that you guys do here.
Right. So one of our favorite mixes is we used out there. It's called an Aldo Leopold mix, and it's really, really rich in different types of flowers. So in the midsummer to fall, when you come out to this prairie, you'll often see a rainbow of colors. And those different flowers attract lots of different pollinators. Some that are very specific and only thrive in a certain condition, they can find it here. So since it's a restored prairie, it's not the true tall grass prairie that you haven't tilled over, but it's still a really rich, nice prairie. So we burn different sections of it each year in order to kind of provide a mosaic of habitat and kind of push back the non-natives and help the natives thrive with their great big root system.
Right.
So we do that different prairie management to try to enrich the habitat. And also out there, and I don't know if you've seen it on the way in, we do many different food plots.
Okay.
So our natural resource technician, he comes out with farm equipment and he discs up a small area and he actually plants food to attract wildlife to the area.
Interesting.
Yeah, so like let's say sunflower fields for dove hunters. So the sunflower grow up really big and it attracts different doves to the property. Or he might plant corn so deer and turkeys can come into the area. So kind of mixed into that prairie in little sections, we have these food plots.
Food plots. Yeah, that's interesting. Tell me a little bit about how you educate others and some of the programs that you do as far as with the Dubuque County Conservation.
Right, yep. So this area in general, and what we do as an educational component is we have this program that we partner with the National Wild Turkey Federation. From time to time we offer it, and it's called Save the Hunt. So what that means is basically we partner with local hunters through the different seasons. So you as an individual could sign up and you'd be paired with a turkey hunter. They'd bring you out to a property like this and teach you how to turkey hunt and potentially harvest an animal and maybe how to cook turkey.
That'd be interesting.
And then the next time they'll take you deer hunting and they'll take you clay pigeon hunting, so you can kind of tune in your skill set when you go to hunting. So we have a program we have youth mentored hunting programs that we do out here, and then our environmental education field trips that are out here. This property is unique, and it's unlike some of the other county conservation board properties because it's managed by 3 government entities. So
Yeah, because we're right on the border of Jackson County, right?
Right, yep. So it's kind of cool in that Dubuque County owns this portion where the overlook is. Jones County owns kind of the Valley of 13 Caves, the other trails that way.
Okay.
And then Jackson County owns a portion by the entrance. So,
Interesting.
Yeah, we have to cooperatively manage this property all together as units. So we kind of trade off who's mowing or different areas that who's doing prairie burns or maintaining the trails. So it's kind of a cool property because of that. And what makes that unique is that when we do field trips out here, we can use the resources of all 3 counties. So Dubuque County comes with their naturalists, Jackson County and Jones County, they all pool together their naturalists, meaning all different schools from this tri-state region can kind of come together. So we have field trips out here where we're mixing Dubuque kids with Jones kids and Jackson County kids, where they all get to come out and experience this really great, amazing amenity, get experience with all the different naturalists from the different counties, and just meet new kids from other areas. So that's why we really appreciate and value this area, because it's just, when we take the kids here, they not only get to explore this amazing property, but they get to explore so much more. It's so much of a deeper field trip because so many different entities are pooling together their resources.
Yeah, because Dubuque County Conservation is continuing to grow. I mean, trying to incorporate more and more land. So you said this property, Whitewater Canyon, has grown over the past few years.
Right, yep. And so we have about 2,500 acres that we manage in total, but we're going through strategic planning conversations right now where we're trying to figure out how can we connect these properties, or what's a really sensitive green space area that we should maybe try to preserve in the future. So we're trying to listen to the public and also consult different resources to find what are those areas that we need to get together and preserve. Is there an endangered species there? Is there a really sensitive ecosystem that we need to kind of see if we can wrap our arms around it and preserve for the future? So yeah, we try to have those conversations frequently, and we're constantly negotiating with surrounding landowners to see if we can add on to properties.
Yeah, I mean, it's an incredible resource. This is a really special, unique place, and I'm glad that I got out here to show everybody. But let's keep on moving, head on to Heritage Trail next.
Sounds great.